Greetings. I just returned from completing a 2-week Camino Portugues trip where my wife and I walked from the cathedral in Porto to Camino, took the alternate route up to Tui and then on to Santiago. And in the preparation of our trip, we watched many videos here on YouTube for the gear that people used. And I thought as I was putting it away, I would do the same. So I'm going to start at the bottom. Shoes. I wore the Salomon X Ultra Gore-Tex. They're waterproof. They're fabulous, lightweight, waterproof, although we did get wet because we had much rain during our trip. Very comfortable. I did take time to break them in. I also carried my beloved Chacos. My Chacos were for after we got done walking for the day. I also did walk in them with my backpack a couple times to give my feet a break and something new. They are a little heavy, but I chose to use them, loved them, would do it again. Also would do the Salomon shoes again. Next we'll go with clothing. My everyday clothing were one of 2 pairs of the Ninja toe socks, which we'd read about being very helpful to avoid blisters. These are liner sock. They go underneath my darn tough merino wool lightweight hikers. Great combination. I didn't know whether I would like them. I did. I had 2 pairs of each, and I would do it again. No blisters. I had my Patagonia Polypro underwear, 2 pairs. Wear one, wash one. I had 1 pair of pants. The particular pants that I chose to bring are a polyester zip-off pant. These are made by EMS, Eastern Mountain Sports. I wore these every day while walking, and most days my legs were zipped off, and it was great for the evenings to zip the legs back on and go out in the evening because it was cool. We were there, of course, October 12th through October 23rd. My daily wear for walking is a Patagonia travel shirt. It is, again, polypro, sleeves that button and roll up. And the thing that I love the most about the Patagonia is the zippered pocket every day. My passport and my pilgrim's credentials were in this pocket. Would definitely wear these again, as well as the EMS pants. I also wore virtually every day a lightweight short sleeve Techwick t-shirt from Eastern Mountain Sports. It was great as an underlayer on the cool days in the rain. It was also a great t-shirt to sleep in on the cooler nights. That's my clothing that I wore every day. In addition, I use packing cubes, love the packing cubes, use them every day. I had my North Face Gore-Tex rain parka. We were on the trail for 12 days, and we had rain either all day or part of 8 of those days. Critical to have good rain gear. Would take it again, wore it virtually every day. My rain pants were a Patagonia rain pant. Love them. They were fabulous. Spent a lot of time wearing these. I love the zippered sides. Made it easy on, easy off with boots on. Would wear them again. Take them again. They're fabulous. Again, kept in the packing cube was empty most of the time because my rain gear was on most of the time. I also had an Outdoor Research Gore-Tex rain hat. Loved the wide brim. Really made a difference with shedding the rain over my back. I would take it again this time of year. Probably wouldn't take it in the warmer months. Although with my bald head it was very helpful. Loved this hat. Would definitely take it again. We initially purchased some really, really inexpensive ponchos. And they worked good for about a day and a half. And we had to buy a more rugged poncho. The poncho was absolutely essential given the rain that we had, to keep the rain from going down in between the outer part of my Gore-Tex jacket and getting the back of my pack wet. So even though I also brought with me and used virtually every day a Sea to Summit rain cover for my backpack, having the poncho over my Gore-Tex raincoat and over my Gore-Tex rain pants and over the rain cover for the pack really made a difference. We ended up purchasing these on the trail. I think they were €8, maybe €6, and then we ended up wearing it a lot and they held up really nicely. Other clothing, just to go through again, a second pair of Darn Tough merino wool lightweight hikers. I, with my bald hat, brought and wore this Patagonia skull cap. It's something I normally wear at work under my hard hat. It was fabulous. It was just the right thickness to keep my head warm. Again, second pair of Patagonia polypro underwear. I brought a buff. Didn't end up using it. Liked the idea, liked the concept. On this particular trip, I didn't use it, although my wife wore hers almost every day. This is my second pair of the Ninja toe liner socks that really helped, I think, to prevent blisters. I brought a towel that I bought from REI that I've had for a long time. Didn't use it. We ended up staying primarily in guest houses, and even the albergues we stayed in had private rooms, and every place we stayed had towels. Didn't end up using it. Brought some lightweight polypropylene gloves from LL Bean. I wore them 2 days, hiking in the rain when it was cool in the morning. My thermal layer was a North Face zip-up Polar Tech. It's a lightweight version, and I wore this every day after we got done walking. It was wonderful to get to the albergue or to get to the guest house and have something clean and warm to put on. I also brought a Patagonia Capilene midweight long sleeve in case it got cold. I did wear this a couple times. I never wore it walking because it never got cold enough, but it was nice again in the albergues and in the guest houses. And then I also brought a pair of yoga shorts that I got at MEC in Canada. They were great, lightweight, fast drying. I wore them again in the albergues and in the guest houses at night after showering. Again, kept all of them in a packing cube, which I love, and then once in the packing cube, inside a Ziploc bag, which was vital because of the amount of rain that we had this October. Carried a REI Helio Down sleeping bag. Only used it once. I wish that I'd known, which you can't know, of course, that we were going to end up staying in more guest houses and albergues. If I was going to stay in an albergue in the bunk rooms that are common along the Camino, I would bring it again. If I was to do the trip the same way we did it, staying in guest houses and hotels and private rooms, I would not bring it. I had lecky trekking poles with the rubber tips so that you're not annoying on the cobblestones and on the pavement with the carbide tips and the clacking that it makes. 57 years old, typically use trekking poles because of the downhill in my knees. I am not 100% sure I'd bring them again. I use them most days. There were several days that I put them in my pack and didn't use them at all and didn't have any trouble. It increases the hassle factor big time in terms of transporting your gear because it can't be carried onto the plane, so they have to be checked. And given how small my pack was, I could have brought my pack onto the plane if I didn't carry my trekking poles or my trusty Swiss Army knife. We could get a Swiss Army knife there, but I did have it, used it almost every day. I think it's an important tool. Other gear, sunglasses. Wore them 4 days. They were helpful on those sunny days, but we had a lot of rain, as I said. Did bring a headlamp with the red light, and if we had stayed in the bunk rooms, we would have used it. Never turned it on once, would still bring it. Had a small, lightweight carabiner to bring. I was able to strap a couple things to the outside of the pack to dry on those sunny days. Put some identification information in a Ziploc bag to keep in my pack in case I get separated from it. Paper guidebook in the Ziploc bag with a paper map. We ended up using the app most of the time on our iPhones. I personally brought my iPhone 7 Plus along with the SIM card to make it work in Europe. I brought my wallet, of course, with identification, and we had pre-ordered euros so that we have that. I brought some sugar-free chewing gum. I always like it after having coffee or having a meal when I didn't have access to brush my teeth. Would do that again. Of course, passport, pilgrim's credentials, that you get stamps. Kept in a Ziploc bag, of course, because of the weather, always in my pocket. I also brought a pen and a pad of paper. Probably wouldn't do it again, didn't end up keeping a lot of notes. Earplugs, very important on the plane for me, good for sleeping. We stayed in a couple of guest houses and hotels that were quite loud. Electronic stuff in a Ziploc bag, as you can see. Brought cords to be able to charge my GoPro camera, my Garmin watch that I wore. Also brought the Northern European adapter to be able to plug in, my iPhone Cube and USB adapter, the other adapter from regular plug to iPhone, and then earbuds. I brought my old earbuds. Kind of wish I brought the new earbuds. The only time I used the earbuds were on the plane listening to music and on our bus ride to the airport. I'd bring my newer ones if I were to do it again. Let's see, Ziploc bag with the utilitarian stuff. Advil, whew, very important. Took Advil every day. I'm a vitamin person, so I brought my vitamins. Good catch. My deodorant, of course, a small travel toothbrush with a small tube of toothpaste. We were prepared for blisters. My wife had some blisters. I was fortunate and did not. Bought the Compeed. Great stuff. Really like the Compeed. Hard to get in the US. I got mine through Amazon. And then also brought a blister kit. Way more than I needed. Would probably bring way less if I were to do it again. Love these little clothesline type clips. I get these at Kittery Trading Post in Maine. I think I bought some at REI in the past. Used them several times on the Sea to Summit clothesline kit that I have that I purchased I think at REI. It's about a 15-foot cord that you can hook up and hang clothing that's soaking wet from. Used it several times, love this thing. Actually brought 2 things of earplugs, obviously. And the last thing I had was some Dr. Bronner's liquid soap, which I used several times, mostly washing clothing, but it was there as a backup in case we got into an albergue or a hotel that didn't have soap there, which didn't happen to us. I brought a 1-liter aluminum bottle to carry water. I'm not a bladder person so much. My wife likes having the bladder, and my pack is capable of doing that. But I brought this. It was fabulous. Drinking water is plentiful along the Camino, so that's great. Camera gear. I gave up clothing to bring camera gear. I brought the GoPro 7. I brought a tripod for the GoPro 7. I brought a polarizing filter for the GoPro 7. 3 memory cards for the GoPro. Spare battery for the GoPro and the spare battery for my Nikon. I chose to bring my big camera, my Nikon D810 with a 70-200 lens at 5.5 pounds. Big sacrifice, but as a photographer, it was important to me. This was my Patagonia photography bag that I carried. My photo gear, additional photo gear in it, lined with a Ziploc bag, of course. I brought my Platypod portable tripod. Didn't end up using it. Love the concept, love the idea, but the rain, a lot of time my Nikon was in my bag, and I had several days where it never came out of the bag. This is a great alternative to a tripod. It's much lighter. I didn't use it a lot this trip. Not sure I would bring it again. For a polarizing filter for the 70-200, I brought an adapter to put the GoPro on the Platypod. Didn't end up using it. Brought a lens cleaner, which I did use, and for some reason I brought a lavalier microphone for the GoPro. Never used it, wouldn't bring it again. Finally, my pack. I purchased a North Face Hydra 38, a 38-liter pack right before the trip at EMS. It's a pack that fit me well. It's very lightweight. It is a top-loading pack. It worked very well. I'm very pleased with it. I did make 2 modifications to it. One was to mount the GoPro so that I could keep the GoPro mounted here at shoulder height. And anytime I saw something while walking I wanted to video, I could just hit the button and capture that video. Really like that feature a lot. And also bought a, I can't remember the name of it, Peak Design clamp for my DSLR. Really like how it works, and I could have quick access to it. It snaps into place and it rides on the strap rather than in the pack those times that it wasn't in the pack because of the rain. That's what I brought, that's what I used, that's what I didn't use. We had a great time. Encourage you to do it. Hope this is helpful to someone. Thanks.